Well, I don't use Clima extensively, though I've tested it on several occasions, and I understand it's essentially the teams-based front-end for the underlying model. I regularly use Copilot for various tasks, including email formatting, text summarization, document drafting, brainstorming, just in email tone from informal to formal or vice versa, debugging my own code, and extracting key insights from lengthy reports. However, the tool I use most extensively is the API connections to OpenAI GPT-4o provided by the Department of IT. And we have integrated this into several more sophisticated workflows. For example, we've used it for classifying text segments from funding proposals and evaluations that could be returning structured indicators in JSON format for a database integration that we will later use for our own evaluation purposes. That would help us classify if a budget line is from certain sector or not. And another use was an automated analysis and voting mechanisms where the AI evaluates whether given text matches the specific evaluation criteria, and then it votes. And if a consensus is reached, then okay, we've get it as valid and left it for human verification. But if there is a strong disagreement between the different AIs, between the different models voting that piece of text in certain category, then a human would verify why that may be happening and could go and check it before doing the quality assurance of the rest of the data. Although I have to say that everything that comes from the AI needs to be quality assured later at some point, no matter what. Yes. So I think that the main benefit is, first of all, the significant time saving and improved consistency in our analytical work. Tasks that previously took hours of manual review can now be completed in minutes with high accuracy. But of course, we always are including the human supervision of the output. You are not blindly trusting what the AI is producing. And for us, for the data lab within the independent evaluation unit, the API connection has been particularly valuable for handling large volume of text-based data that wouldn't be feasible using Copilot or Clima alone. I like to think in this way, AI automates simple tasks, makes complex tasks manageable, and makes previously impossible tasks achievable. The main challenge, or the key challenge, includes occasional inconsistencies in output quality, limitation with specialized GCF terminology. Well, there is a need for careful prompt engineering to achieve optimal results, which can be time-consuming initially. But you can overcome those challenges with integration into existing workflows using certain packages in Python, for example, Pydantic. So it validates the output before it's fed into the database. And the most important thing always is human validation at the end of the process. I think that maintaining human oversight is crucial. AI, large language models, should augment our work, but it's not replacing human judgment entirely. This is a message we consistently share with colleagues at the unit using AI. You cannot just trust everything that comes out of the AI. Yeah, I think that from a technical perspective, I think that access to newer models with enhanced reasoning capabilities through the API could be very valuable for our work. Additionally, this is an idea, but having models that can run locally for very sensitive data could be beneficial, because maybe not everything can be fed even within the Department of IT API. I believe that initial experience with LLMs might not immediately demonstrate their full potential. Early negative experience with Clima or Copilot might create skepticism and delay in adoption. Some people might feel that, well, the tool is not useful, but it's just that there is a learning curve. However, I believe that once that threshold is crossed, integration becomes seamless. So I would humbly, strongly recommend more training sessions on effective and responsible AI use, including a clear guidance on data privacy, which documents can use public tools versus which ones require internal systems. Then I think that it would also be helpful to have best practices for prompt engineering and tailor examples for small groups of people. Practical use cases specific to GCF workflows would be also very interesting. Another thing that would be interesting would be tailor use case demonstrating how tools can be applied to specific roles and tasks, because everyone within the GCF might have a different use case, so we will need to personalize those use cases. At the IEU, we are trying to implement this approach internally by building personalized demonstrations that show real value for individual workflow. Well, and my last point is that while my role in the data lab makes testing new tools all the time, every time essential, I think that these capabilities are accessible to anyone, regardless of their technical experience. So happy to support, and if not, if you haven't used it yet, welcome on board.